Download the BCSN Plus app today. Visit bcsnnation.com for details.
I'm pleased to be joined today by a St. John's legend who will now be inducted this weekend into the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame. Ed Heintschel, thanks so much for being here with me today.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
What does it mean to be receiving this honor this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing I thought of was my childhood heroes, Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek, who played at Ohio State and were part of the national championship team in 1960. I thought, wow, to be in that conversation is incredibly humbling.
You coached at St. John's for 40 years. What were some of your favorite memories during that stretch?
Well, my best memory was the first game we won. We were 0-8, and my first year we finally won. So that was great. But I think just watching the progression of the team. The second year we won the first city championship in the history of the school. So that was exciting, and the school was abuzz. It was very, very, very exciting. And then we won a little bit more, and our first regional was in 92, I think, and or 91 or 92, and that was exciting. Again, another level, and you're headed to the regional, and then winning the first regional in 93, getting to Columbus, and then watching the kids develop, the players develop, the young men develop, and now watching them as young men in with their families and businesses and all that kind of thing. They grew up, and I grew old.
You've had plenty of players go on to also coach, whether that's locally or beyond. Just what has that meant to you in terms of your impact on them?
Well, I was always fearful that maybe that I was so hard on them that they would never want to see basketball again. So it's kind of gratifying that they have continued to want to be involved in basketball.
How did being a coach for nearly 4 decades change you into the person that you are now?
Well, I think you learn a lot about people. I always thought I was pretty good about reading people and knowing how to motivate and who needed what to go. So, that was something that I learned about myself, and I just you develop such great relationships with kids. So, that interpersonal relationships with kids and extending it out over a period of time has been very, very rewarding.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, do you ever miss coaching?
I always tell people no, and basically I don't, but there are times. I always love the big games. I love the games that just, you just didn't know what was going to, well, you never know what's going to happen. But the big games that really, really brought out the intensity and all that kind of thing, I love that. It was so much fun. Now that every once in a while I get a little, longing for that rush that you get in those situations. But it got to be a grind, and it was 40 years, is a long time. I coached. Somebody told me I coached 999 games. You know what? I never even thought of that, but that's a lot of games, and it was just time. It was just time to move on.
Well, and you certainly experienced a lot of success that we're seeing pay off with this Hall of Fame induction. So thanks so much for joining me to chat about that. And again, congratulations.
Thank you much for having me. Appreciate it.